Okay, I'm gonna do this intro super quick because I'm super cold. Today I'm gonna show you some apps that I use for music production. But first I gotta finish this driveway. Okay, so I've been meaning to do this video for quite some time. I have a really squeaky bench. So last year I started getting into the idea of developing iOS apps. And so I've been reading up and finding a lot of really cool apps out there just to get some ideas for what kind of app that I want to make one day. But anyways, so these are the top apps that I use for music production. And they kind of range from, you know, for rehearsal to distribution. So anyways, I'm just gonna get into it. The first app that I'm gonna talk about is a metronome app, and it's an app called Pulse. Pulse is a super simple metronome app. There's a lot of metronome apps out there, and to be honest, they all do the same thing. I find a lot of them look really cheesy, or I find that the UI, the interface itself, is just overloaded with stuff, where they could probably put some of that in like a back menu option. But anyways, Pulse is really cool because it's literally just a circle. And you can tap it to figure out what kind of tempo you want. So you tap on the side, will be tap to tempo. To play and stop, you tap the circle. You can use your thumb to scroll. So if you want to just like use your thumb to scroll up, scroll down your tempo, you can do that. You can change colors. One of the cool things that I really like about this app is two things. One, it's very visual. So I can put my phone down and put on headphones and I can kind of get an idea of what the tempo is. Awesome. But a really cool feature about it is that if you are at a rehearsal with multiple musicians that have this app, you can sync this with their Pulse app. So you can use the sync option and it'll sync everybody's Pulse app via Bluetooth. And so you're all gonna be in the same tempo and you have that as a reference, which I think is super cool. So the next app I'm gonna talk about is a chromatic tuner. And I'm surprised how very few chromatic tuners I found that are good on the App Store. I find a lot of them, it's like you have to pay a subscription, and I'm not paying a subscription for a tuner. I think, no. So I found one that was really cool. It's called Guitar Tuner. It's a chromatic tuner. I do a lot of like half-step tuning and a lot of different tunings, so it's nice having a good chromatic tuner. Oh, while I was making this video, I found another chromatic tuner that's kind of cool. It's made by Roland. It's the replica of the TU3, which I thought was kind of fun. If you don't know what a TU3 pedal was, it was that chromatic pedal that most of us had on our pedal boards for the longest time. So, and I think a lot of us still use it to this day. It was a great little pedal. Anyways, you can get that now for your phone. Yeah, check it out if you get a chance. Okay, I can't make an iOS app video without mentioning Garageband because it is probably one of the best multi-track recorders on the iPhone and iPad, anything using iOS. I know there's a lot of cool stuff. Cubase has some cool things coming out. For the most part, GarageBand is free, and it's something that anybody that has an iPhone can download and start playing with right away. There's a lot of effects and a lot of samples you can play with that you can just kind of get down to the nitty-gritty and just kind of start demoing ideas out really quickly. I also have like a little iRig device that I can plug in here and plug my guitar in and just kind of mess around with the amp settings. I do like the Logic and GarageBand amp tones, so I tend to use those a lot when I'm mucking about. So yeah, GarageBand is definitely something that I would recommend if you're doing a lot of songwriting, if you need to demo out ideas. It's probably one of the best free options you have out there to date, and you can find yourself spending a lot of time recording just in GarageBand, which is really cool. So the next app I'm going to talk about is an app that I use quite a bit called Avid Control. I use it because I'm a Pro Tools user, so this is a great app to allow me to control my DAW when I'm not near my keyboard. So I have it for my iPad and I have it on my phone. The iPad does a lot of stuff where I can check for metering, gives me just an extra view of things. I use Avid Control on my phone when I'm doing things like recording when I'm not near my computer. So I don't have to get up, hit spacebar, hit record, run back to the mic and do it. I can do everything right there, and it works great. So this is very similar. If you're a Logic user, you probably have Logic Remote. It's the same kind of thing where you can control it remotely. That's a great app as well. I use that for when I'm using Logic. So anyways, check out Avid Control or Logic Remote, depending on what software you use. One of the nice features about Avid Control is you can use it on other DAWs. So they all have like the same kind of standard protocol that they use to communicate. So if you have Avid Control and you're running Pro Tools and you need to open up a Logic session, it'll switch over. It's just a very useful tool to have so you're not anchored to your computer when you're doing recording on your own, which is very nice. So my final app that I'm going to talk about is an app called Amuse. Amuse is a distribution platform that is free to use for anybody. There is a paid tier, but for the free version, it gives you quite a bit. So you can create an artist account, you can upload your music, you could distribute it among their platforms that they use, which is like Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, all the main ones. So the way that Amuse works is they don't take any money from your earnings, which is really nice. They're technically, they say, a record company, so they're looking for artists on this platform, so they give us a lot of cool perks, and the more people they get on it, the more they have a chance of finding artists that they can springboard to the next level, apparently. If you're doing the free version, they don't offer a split option, so like if you're splitting your royalties among your band members, you would have to do one person and split it manually, whereas if you're doing the paid version, you can set it up, set it and forget it. This is just an honorable shout out. If you're looking for a good app to actually create like split agreements, there's an app called Splits, which will literally let you figure out who gets what, and it just creates like a contract. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful. There's a ton of apps out there. Let me know what you're using, because I think I'm just scratching the surface with apps, and if there's other apps you're like, oh, you gotta check this out for songwriting, you gotta check this out for lyrics, you gotta check this out, let me know. I wanna hear it because I wanna try them out, because I'm hoping that one day an app that I make will be on this list that I just made. Anyways, thank you very much. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you later.